Noah, is that you?
What?
Noah's Ethan Hawke? How did I
Are you
never
Ethan
know?
Hawke?
Noah,
Who's Noah?
you've been kidnapping children all this time. We didn't even know.
Noah has been a naughty boy. Welcome to the spooky screen, where 5 friends get together and talk about movies. Tonight, we are reviewing Black Phone, distributed by Blumhouse, directed by Scott Derrickson, and released in June. Tonight, we are joined by our hosts, Nick,
Hello.
Jonny,
Why, hello.
David,
Ooh, hello.
and I'm your host, Ethan Hawke.
Ethan, is that you?
This is me.
Ethan Hawke, what an
Oh my
honor.
god, me, Ethan.
Do you like my face?
Are you guys?
Face.
We didn't know you're a fan of the podcast.
I am a huge fan.
It's such an honor to have you on our podcast, Ethan. Thank
It's-
you.
It's more of an honor being here.
Do you go by Mr. Hawk or Mr.
You
Ethan?
can
Or
call me Ethan. So the synopsis is: after being abducted by a child killer and locked in a soundproof basement, a 13-year-old boy starts receiving calls on a disconnected phone from the killer's previous victims, and he uses them to help him escape and defeat the killer. Should I talk like this the whole night?
Yes.
If you think you can keep it up, Mr.
I
Hawke,
don't think I can, but I'll try.
Mandatory.
do you have some water, Ethan? Do you have some water? We want
I
to.
spilled my water on my desk.
That's very apropos because you do spill your victim's food on the floor. So
That's
maybe-
true. When they're being a naughty boy.
Ethan, I have so many questions about
We'll get to those questions.
Why wasn't the movie named Naughty Boys? That's my most
I-
primary.
I proposed it to the director, but he shot it down.
Why was a black phone on the wall of a basement?
Don't pay.
Don't mind that.
Don't mind that. The black phone doesn't work. Just ignore it.
It's just there for no
Except
reason.
Plot conveniences. All right, so here at the spooky screen, I know that we decide if a movie should be paid, streamed, or skipped. As you know, paid is you'll pay for it in the theater or you'll pay for it to be rented at home. Either way. A stream is it has to be on a free streaming site, so it's not as good. It's like kind of like saying it's okay. Like it's okay.
Like
I will
this.
give my time to watch it, but it's not good enough to pay for it.
Yeah.
And then skip is just don't watch it. It's not worth your time, even if it's on Netflix in the top 10.
Even if it's on CW on a
'Cause we
Sunday
know-
afternoon.
There's some trash in the top 10 usually on Netflix that no one's watching. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, I see two streams, a pay from David, and a skip from Nick for Ethan being a naughty boy.
no, it's
naughty.
skip for Ethan or be a naughty boy.
Or be a naughty boy. All right. Let's start with you, Nick. You seem to be the most hateful of this movie. What's your reason for the skip?
There's no intrigue. As I try to erase my board now, Ethan Hawke does not create an imposing villain for me. He
Oof.
just does not do it. Ethan Hawke, I
Ouch.
think, is a great actor. He just
Thank
does
you.
not work. He doesn't work in any horror movies. Mr. Hawke, I'm so sorry, but horror is not your forte.
It's okay.
Nick,
But-
I think we
yes.
should refer to him as the grabber.
Yes.
Mr. Grabber Hawk. While you are a grabber, you just don't threaten me. You just don't live up to the threats that you portray. There's no
Didn't
payoff.
grab me.
Is there any particular reason why I was not threatening? Was it my voice?
You come off more so as a pedophile than you do a kidnapping villain.
Okay.
It was the It was the
I'm pretty sure
ascot.
It was both.
Yeah, I might have been both. I don't know.
Yeah,
Where'd
but
you get all those black balloons from?
I bought them.
What do you
The
need
black
black balloons
balloons.
for?
The city.
No, but yeah, so I don't think Ethan Hawke is just imposing as a villain. He doesn't come off as scary. He never feels incredibly threatening. He seems to care a little too much, and he only becomes threatening when the plot demands him to be. Like, he's not a threatening presence throughout the film. It's only when the plot calls for it. Other than that, he's like a soft-spoken nobody who's just like, oh, I just want to
Kind of
be
a
your
nice guy.
friend.
Kind of a great guy, huh?
Kind of.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. I'd be pretty upset if I had to pay for this in a theater, honestly.
All right. Okay. Let's go to the other side of the spectrum. David, you're the only one who said you'd actually pay for this movie.
I'd actually paid to see this movie.
I did not pay for this movie because I went to the opening night for free, probably in the front row. So tell me why you would pay for this movie. Give me a reason why.
Why I would pay for this movie.
Yes.
All right. I've seen a lot of horror movies in my life, and it is very common for horror movies to set up the hero MC in like these unbelievable circumstances that they'd never be able to get out, and then all of a sudden these like just dominoes start falling in the right place, and they get out, and the escape or the victory doesn't feel earned, and it kind of takes the gas out of it for me. And what I really enjoyed about this movie, why I would pay to see this movie, and what was most enjoyable for me was to see Finn. We spent a lot of time with Finn down in the dungeon and with the phone calls, and it really felt like trial and error. That final confrontation with the grabber, everything felt earned. Well, was everything maybe plausible? We could argue that, but everything felt earned. He didn't solve. He was there for a couple days. He was there for what, like 2-3 days. So he was struggling with this. You saw like how tired he was after like digging in the hole, and how exhausted he was. He was drinking toilet water because he was so thirsty and hungry. I don't know. It just felt really good. When he finally gets out of the house, I like almost did a little cheer. I was really, and apart from that, I did like all like the supernatural stuff. I thought that was very entertaining too. But
Okay.
for me, mostly the journey and like the fight that we got to witness, I thought was really well done.
Thank you for that, David. Now I have a question. I have a follow-up question for you, David. Do you agree with Nick about the grabber, the character I portrayed? Was he not scary enough? Did he not do it for you?
The mask, the costume design, great. Whoever
Thank you.
did that,
Me.
excellent.
That was
Oh, okay. There's a handcrafted mask.
I made it.
You
It's
whittled
actually,
it.
it's actually paper mache.
Oh, I thought that was great, and I thought like the scenery and everything was great, but there needed to be some more build up or some more. We needed some. Right, where is your Oscar?
Where is my Oscar? I'm hoping for this one. This is going to be the year.
But I do think there was even though it was disappointing, there was a reason for that, because I think if he was too menacing and too like villainous, you wouldn't have believed like a 12-year-old kid could overcome him.
Okay.
That's fair. I give you that credit. David.
Okay.
That's fair.
Gotcha. All right. Let's go to our friend Jonny. You were in the middle of stream. Why were you in the middle? Why was this not worth paying for?
Well, I have some thoughts on that, Ethan, and I just want to say I give you the highest respect. You did a great job as the grabber.
Thank you.
I could never act as good as you.
Thank you.
Star Wars, exceptional job.
I was in Star Wars.
I think you
Or was
were.
he?
I was in Star Wars.
You mean Ewan McGregor?
Star Wars. I have a couple Moscow Mule into this.
I was
Obi-Wan grabbing Kenobi.
So what I did like about this movie,
Mhm.
and I will summarize very briefly because I'm very succinct with my time, very busy man. First, redemptive ending. I always love redemptive endings. I think that this genre is challenging. I think a redemptive ending, it brings something special. So that I loved. I liked the very nice balance of a heavy topic such as kidnapping children, potentially abusing them and killing them, um, without perversion. So, like,
Right.
obviously, there was an undertone of violence and perverseness, but it wasn't celebratory and it wasn't explored almost in kind of a look at this kind of disgusting way. It wasn't
Mhm.
used as entertainment, it was used to set the tone of the movie. So, success in my mind.
Mhm.
And I think what I like to call it had the right amount of white space. The movie kind of had the right. I think when I say this kind of stuff, I mean pacing a little bit, but I think also it just means like they let things sit a little bit on their own.
Mhm. Mhm. Like,
The movie overall was well crafted. I think is my point. Um, I think some of the challenges I had, which would led me to a streaming categorization, is the stakes of the movie never felt 100% real. And they tell you that you know these kids died, and you know the grabber is potentially violent, but it doesn't feel real as the audience member. It doesn't feel scary enough that you think he's going to kill this kid at any moment. You feel like he's always kind of going to get away, and
mhm.
I think that they could have figured out a way to make that a little more intense. Um,
Mind if I
Ethan,
ask you a question?
Ethan, Ethan, Obi-Wan, please.
Obi-Wan, yes. So you
Ewan
always thought,
McGregor, please.
you always thought that Finn was gonna escape. You never
Yeah,
in your mind you thought it was gonna
I
have a
really
sad
did.
ending.
They never made me feel like there was confidence there'd be a real sad ending here.
Interesting.
And I like the redemptive ending. I think they should have just tricked me
Now, when you say
better
redempting end, you mean Finn killing me with the phone and
and
then
escaping. Yes, without receiving too much harm.
and then and then smooching the girl that he likes.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
Finn, baby.
It's Finn.
It's Finn o'clock, baby. Um,
It's Finn
I
Okay.
time.
so a couple of things to conclude. I did feel so. I did look this up, and I noticed it. In reflection, this movie is kind of developed from a short story, and I feel like
True.
unfortunately the depth of this movie is limited because of that. Like you can feel the short story origins, and it would have been nice to have a little bit more robustness to this world that we're in. And then finally, I would say I really didn't like at the end this idea that Finn is a fighter. I feel like they should have leaned into Finn's success through his fear. Like
Mhm.
his winning was through this crazy domination at the end, but I think that he showed himself to be a fearful character, and almost winning through a fearful act would have been more interesting to me.
Like
But that's subjective.
outwitting.
Maybe outwitting. I don't. I mean, he did outwit him, but I mean like not through a fight, not through a counter.
Mhm.
Anyway,
I understand.
personal thoughts.
Thank you
So
for that.
I vote stream. I would tell someone to, if this was on, to watch it, or
It'd have
I,
to be free though.
I think it would have to be free for me.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Thank you for your time, Obi Wan.
you, I will accept, even though it's not accurate. It's
Don't have-
interesting. All of you have brought up Finn's journey being a highlight, except Nick. I think Nick kind of feels that way, even though he didn't say it.
I did.
He's saying it with his
didn't,
eyes.
I didn't get into it, but just to cover that ground, I think Finn's journey is the best part of the movie, but
There you go.
Finn's journey can't carry the movie.
I got you. And then everyone brought up how the grabber, the character I portrayed, was not as good as he could be. So I'm going to say how I felt about the movie. So I chose stream. The Black Phone was a mixed bag for me. I was entertained, but also disappointed. It felt like a half-baked cookie. Sweet, but lacking something that would have made it truly delicious. The sweetness was Finn's growth journey with the missing dead kids, which was an original concept, which I really like. But the things that it was missing, the secret ingredients that could have made it so great, was a connective theme between the abuse and the stranger danger themes. It seems like they were trying to do something with that, but there wasn't enough there to really latch onto. And then I also agree that the grabber, the character I played, wasn't threatening enough. It felt like there was no stakes. Like I wasn't scary. I feel like we actually had to see me do the heinous things that the movie hints at. The only thing I do is kill my brother, who is a moron, and then that's it. You don't see me do anything else. That's it. And so when I'm actually defeated by Finn at the end, my defeat kind of feels shallow instead of triumphant. So in the end, yes, Finn's journey was great, but the grabber wasn't as good as he should have been, and he was kind of the main thing for me, the main thing I wanted out of the film, because he looked so cool. I looked so cool. I looked so cool.
Ethan, you had no stakes in this.
No stakes. You had no idea why I was doing what I was doing. I took my shirt off sometimes, and I fell asleep in my kitchen sitting down. But that was kind of it.
And you had a giant dog hidden.
Yeah, I have a giant
dog came out of nowhere.
Coke brother. So there's a lot to speculate on my life.
How'd you afford 2 houses?
Right? With what job did you afford 2 houses in this movie?
You must be a really good magician.
I'm a really good magician. No one knows that I do magic, though, in the town, or that I have black balloons. Or that I drive around a black van to pick up kids.
But all the kids say the grabber drives around in the van.
Don't listen to those stupid kids.
Even the cops say a detail they never released to the public is that the grabber has a black van, and nobody decided to question the one guy with a black van in his driveway.
Oh, I look good.
I found what might have been causing Johnny some confusion.
What was in that movie? Overall, it's an enjoyable movie. Can we agree with that?
Enjoyable is a tough word.
Yeah, I don't know.
Enjoyed it.
I mean, I enjoyed it.
It's an entertaining movie.
Entertaining.
Okay, yeah.
Would you recommend this to your wife? Do you think your wife could watch this?
No.
Yeah,
I don't.
But she would.
Why?
My wife could not watch it because, and I said it at the beginning to her, the topic is too heavy for her.
Even though the kid escapes.
It would haunt her too much to think about a serial killer trying to kidnap her son.
Gotcha.
And I just wouldn't put her through that torture.
Gotcha.
For me, it didn't faze me too much. But it is a serious topic, and children as a focus in a movie can be a sensitive subject to some people. And this was very kids focus, but they played it very well to their credit. Which this was a hard topic to balance well, in my opinion. I think they did a good job.
Nick,
two things. The one thing I think, the first thing is, I think what really draws people to this movie,
the visuals.
This may be a bit hard to describe.
It's Ethan Hawke.
So the moment, the one moment of the movie where I felt really I guess into it was when Finn felt hopeless. Like when he broke down against the wall and started crying. That's where I was like, you know what, that to me was the highlight of the movie because that's so real. I mean, you have to remember he's a kid, and I think that a lot of people can. When you see that, you're just like, oh my God, not a lot of people see kids as helpless. Yeah, kids can be resourceful at times, and kids can think of things that adults would never even think about or go against the grain in terms of thoughts. But when you still look at him and he breaks down where he's just like, I'm stuck, I'm trapped, you're just like, man, and this is just a kid. And he's really doing, this kid's giving it all he's got. And it breaks your heart that he's giving it all he's got, but he's just a kid and he can't do anything.
Nick, do you realize the last few things you said are very positive towards my movie? For a movie that you want to skip, you've been saying a lot of nice things about it.
Have I? Oh.
Yes, you have.
The other thing, I was going to ask a question. The question I want to ask as a discussion topic is, do you think that kidnappers as a villain just don't work as a whole? Because, just kidnapping someone doesn't really seem to do too much.
I don't. I don't
Kind
think
of
I
he's
think
a
you should.
kidnapper. He's a murderer.
Yeah,
Let's be
he's a
Yeah,
clear.
serial killer.
but all he did was
I,
I mean, yes, we knew he killed the other kids, but all we saw him do for 90% of the movie was
may 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 I recommend a movie to watch? It reminded me a lot of this movie. It's called The Changeling. It's with uh, what's her name?
Ethan
Angelina
Hawke.
Jolie.
Oh.
And Ethan Hawke's probably. I am probably in it. Um, but it's called The Changeling, and it's a movie about a little boy that gets kidnapped, and the mother is determined to find him,
Hmm.
and you really get to see what it's like for the boy being kidnapped with this stranger, and I think it does a little bit better job of making you very scared of the kidnapper. I think you should give it a go. It's quite frightening. It's based on a true story.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
called
yeah.
The Changeling. Very
Yeah,
good.
I do remember that movie.
It's quite
I'll
terrifying.
give it a try just because the idea. I mean, like, yes, we know he's supposed to be some sociopathic killer, but it never comes across, and he only to me comes across as just this older guy who kidnaps kids. And to kids, absolutely, that's scary because no kid wants to be taken by a stranger somewhere they don't know where they are.
Right.
I
But
really think we hit the nail on the head that this is an agreeable horror
Hmm.
movie. Like it's kind
Yeah.
of light. It's even though it's dealing with a heavy topic, it really never goes so
Entry
hard.
level.
It never goes hard. Yeah, it's entry level. So I think a lot of people can kind of get into it. Even it's no Hereditary, right?
Oh
It's
no.
like it's
No,
like
no, no.
this has been the Spooky Screen. I am your I have been your guest host, Ethan Hawke. You can find the Spooky Screen on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And am I missing any? Instagram, Twitter, all of those. TikTok someday, maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
ring the
Tell
bell.
me, tell us if we're wrong.
Like and subscribe.
Speak high praises to me. Tell me how great I was as the grabber.
You are
Thank
such
you.
a good grabber.
Thank you. I am a good grabber.
Please don't sue us for defamation of character.
I'm Ethan Fawke. I'm not Ethan Hawke.
Hawk.
Okay.
Ethan Falcon.
Thank you. And this has been our review of the Black Phone. Stay spooky, my friends. Bye.